Hi, I'm John Arnold. Welcome to another video by The 7-Minute Life. Today's training is how to set goals that transform your life. In this video, you're going to learn exactly how to set goals that are clear, compelling, and most importantly, goals that produce meaningful change in your life. I'm going to walk you step by step through the 7-Minute Life process of setting goals. And if you pause the video and complete the exercises at the suggested times, then my promise to you is by the end of this video, you will have identified your top 10 values, defined your purpose, and set 3 personal goals and 3 work goals. Now, if you didn't participate in our Google Hangout on goal setting, you might also want to check out that video. It's posted at the7minutelife.com/hangouts. Well, let's go ahead and get started. To complete the exercises in this video, you're going to need a pen or a pencil, the 7-Minute Life Prioritization Worksheet, the 90-Day Personal Goals Worksheet, and the 90-Day Work Goals Worksheet. You can download any of these worksheets from the 7minutelife.com. They're also available in the front of the 7-Minute Life Daily Planner, which is now available in a downloadable format. If you don't have the worksheets, please take a moment to download them for free at the 7minutelife.com or continue to watch this video and complete the exercises afterwards. All right, let's go. So what is a goal? In its simplest expression, a goal is a clear picture of where you want to be. Right now, there are changes in your life that you want to see happen. Perhaps you want to be a better spouse, or maybe you want to be healthier, weigh less, have more energy. Perhaps you want to earn more, or get a promotion, or even a change of jobs. Well, a goal is a clear picture of what your life would be like if you succeeded in making those changes. In essence, goals are the finish line. They're what tell you you've made it, you've done well, great job. Without goals, it's as if you're running a race with no finish line. I bet for some of you listening right now, that's exactly what you feel like. You feel as if you're just running willy-nilly around, getting things done, but never feeling like you're accomplishing anything. Well, the good news is that today is the day you'll be creating finish lines in your life by creating clear, compelling goals that produce meaningful change. So let's jump right in and do it. Okay, step 1. And this is where 90% of people go wrong before they even get started. You must clearly identify your highest values. You need to become consciously aware of what matters most to you before you start drafting your goals. Otherwise, you'll create goals, and I know this from experience, that are driven by other people's hopes and expectations, low priority influences, and what feels urgent. And the thing is, none of those may be in your best interest or what brings a sense of deep satisfaction and accomplishment. However, if you clearly define your highest values and you set goals from those highest values, they're going to be inherently your hopes and expectations, high priority, and important, not urgent. Now, to identify your highest values, let's complete the prioritization worksheet together. As you can see on the worksheet, there are 75 values listed, such as love, faith, family, security, etc. Read through this list 3 times. First, read through it once to familiarize yourself with what's on it before you mark anything. Then go through a second time and mark the ones that jump out at you. Don't worry about how many you pick as you go through that second time. Then lastly, go through and look at the ones that you've marked, and if there are more than 10, eliminate some so that you have a list of just 10. If you have less than 10, that's okay. It might be even better if you're focused on a handful of values starting out. Lastly, feel free to adapt or add to this list as you create your top 10 set of values. For example, in the last column, near the bottom, you'll see the value financial security. Now, when I read that, it kind of grabbed me but it didn't quite feel right. So I played around with some variations like financial freedom, financial success, etc., until finally I hit on financial prosperity. Now, why that feels so much better to me, I don't know that I can really explain it, but it did, so I adapted it, and that's what I placed on my values list. Or, as I said, you might want to add something that's not on the page. For example, I added to my top 10 list experiencing new things. I really enjoy not just learning new things, but getting out and having new experiences. So that's something that I wanted in there. Now it's time for you to do your list. Remember, read once without marking, read again and mark whatever you like, and then read only what you marked and trim your list to 10. And once you're done with that, rank your top 10 values at the bottom of the worksheet in order of priority, with number 1 being your highest value. Pause the video now. Great work! Now let's move on to step 2. Identify your purpose. Purpose is about whom you serve, and purpose is the deep individual why behind what you do. As explained in the 7-Minute Life Daily Planner, there are 3 basic tenets to discovering your purpose. 1. Purpose is what you do for others. 2. Purpose is how you use your gifts and talents to change the world. And 3. Love is the foundation of purpose. I usually complete the list of things I love to do first in order to prime my pump for writing my purpose. Set a 7-minute timer and write as quickly as you can, capturing your first impressions. We've seen this simple exercise be a life-changing moment for many, many people. By outlining a clear and solid description of your purpose in life, you begin the process of fundamentally changing your attitude and approach to life, both at work and home. And once you've finished writing, go back and read the powerful words you've written. Circle the words that stand out. You'll likely notice repeating themes and ideas. These will be your purpose words, which you'll list on the right side of the page. And lastly, to complete this exercise, complete this sentence at the bottom of the page. At the age of 85, I will know I fulfilled my purpose when. Pause the video now and complete the worksheet. Awesome! Now that you've clearly identified what truly matters to you, you're ready to write goals that will inherently be compelling and meaningful to you. Step 3. Establishing your 90-day goals. Your goals will help you define your objectives and clarify the steps you need to take to accomplish your life's purpose. And when you live more fully into your unique purpose, you'll discover that you possess greater energy and enthusiasm for life. You'll have more joy, and you'll experience the deep satisfaction of valued accomplishment. For the purpose of this video, we'll focus on writing 3 personal goals and 3 work goals, but we highly encourage you to use the same process to create both financial goals and life goals. In fact, it's very important to establish life goals because many goals can't be achieved in 90 days. For example, perhaps you want to go back to school and earn a degree. That's not going to happen in 90 days, but in the next 90 days you could visit several schools, identify the school you'd like to attend, establish a budget and save money toward the cost, identify grants and loans, complete applications, read a book on how to study so that you do better when you go to school, or a host of other important sub-steps that must happen. Well, let's take a look at one of my personal goals as an example, and as we do so, I'm going to explain some critical goal-setting techniques that will empower you to set up your goals in a way that radically optimizes your ability to achieve them. Before we look at it, though, let me interject this. Here's the deal. We want you to walk away from this as a rock star of setting goals. Mediocre, generic goals that aren't inspiring are not for you. You're going to want clear, compelling, dynamic, inspiring goals. The thing is, you don't want to just create goals that make sense. You want to write goals in such a way that they are highly desirable. The way you do that is to make them present tense, sensory loaded, and positively stated. Let's look at an example. Here's one from my planner. Goal number 1, I get 7 to 8 hours of sleep every night and wake up each morning well rested and energized. Notice it's in the present tense. I wrote, I get 7 to 8 hours of sleep. Always make your goals present tense. The reason you do this is that a present tense goal creates kind of a dissonance in your brain that's going to try to cry out to be resolved. I mean, we're hardwired to want to keep our minds and bodies in what is sometimes referred to as a homeostasis, a natural comfort zone. For example, physically, if we begin to get too hot, we seek ways to cool down. That's what we crave, so we take action to get our bodies cooler. If you create a clear and compelling present tense statement of where you want to be, you'll instinctively try to resolve the tension between the fact that your brain is starting to believe that's where you are, or it's being told it's where it is, and the fact that it's not. And you'll resolve that by taking action steps consistent with what your brain has been told is already real. Now, if we really want to supercharge that desire, then we need to apply our next principle of goal setting, which is make your goals sensory loaded. Now, I didn't use the senses of taste, touch, feel, sight, smell, those kind of senses, but you will notice that there are words in here that trigger feelings or sensations. The words well rested, energized, they're not specific to one of our 5 senses, but they're kind of sensory loaded words because when you hear those, it evokes a feeling. We do this in order to engage more of the brain around the goal. We're creating more neural pathways, and we're creating pathways in the part of our brain that is filled with desire. So you want to make your goal, as I said earlier, not just to make sense. You want to make it feel really desirable as you read it so that you almost crave to achieve it. And lastly, you'll notice it's positively stated. I didn't write, I don't stay up until 3 in the morning. I didn't put that as a goal. Instead, I put the number of hours. It's very specific, and and I stated it in such a way that it's positive in that the result is positive. I'm well rested and energized. It wasn't, I don't stay up late so that I feel horrible the next day. You want to state your goals positively so that your mind is focused on the result that you want, that the neural pathways that you're building are around the solution and not the problem. We just want to create as much surface area in your brain as possible around the solution so that you can achieve it. Now, it's your turn to try. Pause the video and write one personal goal and one work goal. Make sure the goals are present tense, sensory loaded, and positively stated. And don't worry about action steps yet. We'll do that next. By the way, have fun with this. Nobody's going to grade you. This is just for you. So take a moment now and pause the video. Okay, let's look at those goals, and let me ask you a couple of questions before we go any further. First, are the goals you wrote in alignment with your personal values and/or your purpose? If you achieve this goal, how would your life be different? How much joy would it bring you? How proud would you be for accomplishing the goal? Depending on how you answered those questions, do you still feel pretty good about the 2 goals you wrote, or do you need to go back and rework them a bit? This is really critical. If you set goals that are not in alignment with your values and purpose, you'll struggle to stay motivated, and the goals will add very little value to your life. So, if you need to pause the video again and tweak these goals you just did, or maybe come up with some you really feel good about, do so. It's imperative for you to get your goals right. They can be tiny or grand. It doesn't matter the scope of the goal. What matters is that the goal matters. The goal must be meaningful to you, or it won't transform your life in a positive way. Let me offer a brief example of one of my personal goals and how it's in alignment with my values and my purpose. I wrote as one of my personal goals, I have so much fun being a banjo player who can joyfully play lightning fast classic bluegrass pieces and soul-soothing old school hymns. Now this goal is in alignment with 3 of my top 10 values. I value creativity, experiencing new things, and I like having downtime. It also fits my purpose in that one of the statements I made in my purpose statement was, I bring joy to other people. So one last time, if you need to pause the video now to make sure your goals are in better alignment, do so. If not, let's just keep going and work on writing out your action steps. So here we go. Step number 4, action steps. Action steps are the concrete things you do to move you toward the finish line of your goal. As you work on your action steps, be sure that they are specific and that they focus on micro actions. For example, let's go back to that goal about sleep that I shared a moment ago, and we'll look at the action steps I did for that. They were, I go to bed before 11 p.m. I either walk or do yoga every morning. I drink a warm cup of almond milk with nutmeg or some other soothing beverage before bed. I drink 2 liters of water per day. I eat delicious, healthy, whole foods. Now you'll notice that the rules that I applied to my goal, by and large, I've applied those also to my action steps. These are all present tense. They're positively stated. And here is where I started to engage more senses. I mentioned almond milk, nutmeg, and I can almost smell and taste that as I read this goal. So it's pretty engaging. And I used adjectives like delicious, healthy whole foods. So your action steps, you're going to want to apply to them the same kind of characteristics that you included in your goals, but you also want to make sure these are very specific and focus on micro actions. Micro actions are simple, small steps you can do in a matter of a few minutes, maybe sometimes within a moment. Drinking a cup of almond milk is a micro action. So there you go. You should have what you need to be able to begin to write out some of your action steps. Once you have them written out, what's important is to begin to schedule action steps. And when you schedule them, make sure that you schedule them first each day. So when you sit down with your planner, the first thing that needs to go on your calendar, your to-do list, or whatever planning system you're using, it needs to be action steps toward your goals. And then figure out where to put the other stuff. I highly encourage you to use a 7-Minute Life Daily Planner if you're not already doing so, because the daily progress pages, they're designed to actually support you in doing this. Lastly, as you schedule, always try to be realistic. Specifically, don't overcommit. Life happens to us in unexpected ways almost every day, and it's far better for you to consistently achieve small action steps each day than to overplan and have these huge intentions and fail to achieve them. Okay, we're almost done. But before you dive into writing 2 more work goals and 2 more personal goals, I want to let you in on an important distinction about goals that seldom gets talked about by goal-setting gurus. Not all goals are created equal. As you set your goals, I want to encourage you to include 2 forms of goals, what I call accomplishment goals and habit goals. And these are 2 very different types of goals, and they yield very different value in your life. Accomplishment goals are finite, measurable achievements. Things like completing a 5K run, taking a vacation with your family, getting a salary increase, completing a degree, losing 25 pounds, winning a competition, hitting a sales record. You get the idea. Stuff that you can complete. Those are awesome, and they make you feel great. They increase your confidence, and they inject a huge sense of meaning to your life. Habit goals, and these are often overlooked, tend to have ongoing value and have larger transformative value for your life in the long haul. So what do I mean by a habit goal? For example, you might set as a goal establishing a morning routine that includes exercise, or creating a habit of reading each day so that you're learning in your field, routinely eating healthy foods, taking 10 minutes to clean your desk at the end of each day. Now, I want to tell you a really powerful story about setting a habit goal. One year, I decided to eliminate clutter and excess in my life. So what I did is I set a goal to fill 40 bags in 40 days with things I didn't need anymore. The result was I cleaned every closet, every drawer at work and home, plus my cars and my garage. Now, I'm pretty confident that if I had set out to clean all those spaces in 40 days, I doubt it probably would have happened. But instead, what I did was I went and I got a grocery stack. I stacked 40 of them up in my closet, and every day, as a discipline, I pulled one bag out, filled it up, and out it went out of my house. It went in the trash or got donated, but I got rid of it. And by putting in place a habit of daily picking away at the clutter and excess in my life, I achieved the result I wanted. In fact, I actually exceeded my hopes and expectations. And here's the really great thing. By doing it the way I did it as a discipline, I established a completely different baseline about clutter and excess in my life. Now, that's hard to put value to that. I can't tell you before that time how many times I did kind of a clean sweep and went through and wiped out a bunch of stuff out of a closet. It never had the ongoing impact that my habit goal had, because I created a discipline that shifted and changed what my relationship was to clutter. I hope you can see how that could be really valuable to create a habit goal instead of an accomplishment goal. So what about you? What habits would help you love your life more right now? What daily business practice would transform your sales if you would just do it for 90 days? What could you do on a daily or weekly basis to improve your health, to make you stronger, to give you more energy? What could you do on a regular basis to make your relationships with your wife or children a 10, not a 7 or an 8 or a 5 or whatever it may be right now, but just a rock solid 10? What could you do on a regular basis to change that? As you consider creating your goals, I want to challenge you to create at least one habit goal for work and one habit goal for home. So pause the video now and create 2 more goals for work and 2 more goals for home, for a total of 6 goals altogether. When you're done, resume the video for a brief closing word. Pause the video now. All right, awesome. Do you have your 6 goals? How's it feel to have that in front of you? I hope it feels really great. What's going to feel even better is when you start actively working on them. And that's the closing word I want to share with you above and beyond congratulations. That is, goals don't mean anything without action. So I want to encourage you to commit yourself to daily action on your goals, no matter how small the step may be. The real key, the difference between goal setters and goal getters, is consistent action. So don't settle for anything else. You deserve to be the best version of yourself, and you're only going to get there if you consistently take action around your goals. Goals that come from your highest values, goals that are driven by your purpose. Now again, thank you so much for watching this video. I hope you'll visit the7minutelife.com and take advantage of all the tools and resources we have there, or become a member of the community so that you can get more great training. If you found this helpful, please like it or share it on Facebook. Again, it's been a pleasure to teach you, and I hope to see you in another 7-Minute Life video soon. Bye now.